The ones that are on time deserve a timely start, huh? Welcome everybody. This is, I think, our 19th, can you believe it, live stream. That means probably 2 years or a little bit longer than that. And if you're joining for the very first time, you can get a special welcome. And whether you're on the platform of Zoom or on YouTube, or you see later the recording of this, nice to have you with us. This is another special. They're all special. And today what we going to do, our backpacks are packed and we're going onto an adventure. We're going onto an adventure into consciousness. That's what we're doing, and it's also an interesting event for us in so far that adventure into consciousness, although it has a lot of self-programming aspects in it, it is actually a product that Sai has, how can I phrase that, Arno? It's our new baby, it's our offspring, it's our branch that is overdue. We've been talking about this for years, and it took a long time to find a concept that satisfied. And it was about 3 years ago that the idea started to take shape, to start an academy, an online academy for self-development. And we named it Neurosync. And because that's what we do, that's what we as hypnotherapists do. We syncing neurons. That's what we do. We reshape the brain by, when our clients accept new ideas or revive old ideas or become resourceful or make new decisions, the neuroplasticity of the brain actually allows to reshape it. And in order for the brain to reshape, that means the synapses of the neurons, they're a little bit apart, you know, and there is like this spark coming from one side to the other, like an actual electrical impulse. And that's why Neurosync has the star. I mean, it's also a star because Neurosync is a star, but it's actually depicting that jump from one synapse to the other synapse, transferring information, and in that way, with the neuroplasticity of the brain, encouraging new neural pathways to form, or ones that are dormant to make more coming to the forefront, more dominant. The way I often explain it, you know, if we in a stream of, let's say, overwhelm and worry, which in the times we live in can happen to the best of us at times, then the highways in your brain of worry and anxiety have a lot of traffic, right? And one of the first things we need to do if we want to facilitate any change is we have to look for highways that are in existence that have a different purpose, a purpose of being resourceful, of a purpose of being calm, a purpose of being sovereign, or, you know, all these yummy good things. And this is why our modality is just so amazing, that we can help our client awaken those neural pathways, and then we in the session put a lot of traffic through it and then we have all these incredible tools in our toolbox for the client to remember this, not necessarily even consciously, although they do that too, so that they keep on practicing. So then in the ideal world, what then happens is, let me just admit this person. So in an ideal world, what happens, the highways that are so full of traffic with visions and emotions and mental processes that we don't want, will then in time diminish and those highways that were feeble and fragile with all the resourcing and the good feelings and, what makes us wonderful, there get more traffic. And hence, the name was born Neurosync. And the concept that then came about was to say, so how do we do that? Do we make one big handbook for life? Because after 25 years in the business, and I don't know how many clients we have seen, if we were to put our members together, and Arno and me and Brigitte, of course, I don't know how many thousands of lives we had an influence over. And what we found in all those years of teaching hypnotherapy is the side effect that we never talk enough about. And when people consider doing the courses, consider learning hypnotherapy, they are actually, to a degree, unaware what happens for yourself on the courses, how much personal benefit you get, that you actually start understanding how does a human psyche actually tick? How does this all work? How does this come together? And I mean, I know, of course, it's an old hat when I repeat this, but the clients that come towards the end of the courses and we say, now we need to practice, so find an issue to work on, they often say, I struggle with that. I don't know what to choose. There's nothing really left. So the self-development aspect of the hypnotherapy training is something that we have not explored, yes, but exploited, no. And how do we bring this across to the people? How can we let the world have the benefits that are a side effect of the training that we know so well, so inside out? And so we decided, no, instead of making one big handbook that would probably be, I don't know, too heavy to carry with all the wisdom and knowledge that we have accumulated, we then said, no, what we're going to do, we're going to make modules. We're going to make modules on all sorts of topics. And some topics are more comprehensive. They are actually going quite deep, and it will take you a little bit of time to get through it, but it's super exciting. And some are just one audio that can affect possibly already a change. So obviously we had to get sufficient material together, and steep learning curves for all of us. Very, very steep learning curves for all of us. And yeah, 2 years later, this is basically the first occasion when we talk about this in public. So this is a milestone, and Adventure into Consciousness is one of those modules. Ach, there's Brigitte back. Wonderful. It's one of those modules, and there's no particular reason why we started with this one. Mind you, we had the mind mastery, which is, can be life-changing. We actually introduced this in class, which was super well received. And so all these modules are available now, and Brigitte has been doing a sterling job with basically creating the website. And Arno is, of course, the wizard in the back that knows the coding and the secrets behind everything. And I was more in charge of the content and most of the audios and things like that. So here we are, Adventure into Consciousness. And this is a topic that is not something that you can actually very much teach with words. That is something that you have to experience. Some things you need theory, and you need a whiteboard and a teacher and a pen, and other things you can only absorb when you have a felt experience. An Adventure into Consciousness is one of them. So what I'm inviting you straight away, let's dive in, sit back, relax. Straight away, do that if you want to participate. And take a deep breath. Find a really comfortable position for your body to be in. It's whenever you want to adventure into yourself, it is a good idea to close your eyes, although we're not going to go into a real altered state of consciousness necessarily. But on the other hand, if you're ready to go, I'm not going to hold you back. But the purpose of what we're doing here, just to start, is I'm offering you just a moment to collect yourself. Because what happens when we had a full day, that some parts of us are physically sitting now and watching, and other parts are possibly still somewhere in the day where things were left off, where things were unfinished, or conversations have been had that are still, we're still digesting them. And I'm asking you, if that you find that appealing, is that you ask those aspects of yourself to join you where you are right now. So connect with all these little satellite yous. That's quite a nice expression. These little satellite yous that are, yeah, wherever they are. And some might be in the future. Some might be thinking, what are we going to do when this is done? And it's not going to be a long live stream. It's going to be very experimental. But even those aspects of you that are already ahead, and some are so eager, they're already in tomorrow. What's my to-do list for tomorrow? I hope I'm going to get this all done. Or I have this heavy meeting ahead and I don't know, am I prepared enough? Bring all of these satellite views and bring them right here with you. And I'm going to be silent just for a moment while you do that. Good. And just notice how that felt for you. Did you have a moment of being present and maybe interested, getting the calmness that comes with that? In these 35 seconds of silence, did your mind wander? Was it restless? And all of that is part of the experience. And it already shows us something very interesting. How easily our mind moves and how easily our attention shifts. And that is where awareness begins. It has nothing to do with doing things right or doing them in a certain way. It has everything to do with noticing. Right. So see, when our attention drifts, when it moves, one moment it's here, you hear my voice, and then there's 35 seconds of silence, and then suddenly you, God knows where. And then that story is over, and suddenly you're somewhere else. Isn't it like that? It just goes so quick that we shift and change. And these directions in which our attention goes, they all come with their own set of thoughts. They all come with their own set of feelings. And they all come with their own set of what you should do. So you actually, when you let your mind, or when your mind is doing these things, this is like running 5 radio stations at the same time. With my mind, it's probably more like 50 radio stations or TV stations at the same time. I mean, can you imagine what the computing power that's happening there? So did you notice, and of course you can't answer me, so I'm just saying these things to prompt you, in these 35 seconds when I didn't speak, did you have a moment of stillness? Did you have a moment of silence? And were you aware when you were pulled away to something you still have to do or something you have to finish? That before you know, you moved on into something else. And this is exactly what I want to talk to you about. That's why we did this little thing, okay? Because the thing is, so there's always an aspect of you that is inspired to do things, to move forward, to explore new frontiers, to express things that you haven't expressed, to be more truthfully to who you are. I mean, there's a lot that can be exciting about how else we could be, what else could we add to our repertoire. And then there's another part of us that kind of instantly puts in doubt and questions. And you pause and you hesitate, and you know what happens? That pull towards these things that inspire you, that excite you, that sound to hold some promise, right? That aren't happen because the moment is gone, because you're being held back by the hesitation and by not acting quick enough. And the interesting thing is that you know this. I'm not telling you anything new. You know this. You have had many moments, maybe even today, many moments where you wanted to take that step and something held you back and it didn't happen. Right? And this is where most people tend to get stuck. Not because there is no way forward, but because something inside takes over before we actually have a chance to take that step. And it's so quick and it's so automatic that oftentimes we're not even aware of it. Right? So therefore, when something in life doesn't feel quite right and it should be better, our default modus operandi very often is to look to the outside world and say, oh, something out there needs to change. I need a new job. I need a better partner, more money, a better body. You know what I'm talking about. And these things, they help for a while, yeah. But the thing is that this happening inside, this wanting and being pulled back, if that doesn't change, the same patterns will repeat over and over and over again. You possibly can drive a Lamborghini and live in Hollywood, and I mean the stories we hear kind of prove that the outside world are not guaranteeing a rewarding, fulfilling, satisfying inner world. Something else needs to happen there, and that's what we're talking about. So if the real challenge is not what's happening out there, and it has to do with us, with what happens within, and we need to do this so quickly, this moment of inspiration and yes, I want to do this, and whoops, it's gone. We already reacting in the old programming, in the old default ways, and it happened so quick. And it's also not coming with sirens and flags and things like that. No, thoughts appear, feelings follow, and as I said, so fast and so automatic. And we responding usually in the old programmed ways. And I bet that rings a bell for you. And then only afterwards do we realize, oh, I wasn't really what I wanted. I should have known better, and I actually knew better. Or even worse, I did it again. Yeah, we find ourselves into this, in this pattern. So, so here is the next insight adventure I'm offering you. And again, it's very short. Closing eyes helps to focus. And I would like you, so that we can actively work with this, I would like you to bring to mind, into the forefront of your mind, one of these moments or events, recently or a long time ago, doesn't matter, where this happened for you. You wanted to do things differently, or you wanted to speak out because you had something to say, or maybe you wanted to start something new, but you didn't. You held back. And if nothing specific comes to mind, just get a general sense of a moment like that. And let it be as vivid as you can be. And then as you connect with it, maybe you can notice, let me just admit this person, maybe you can notice how quickly your mind and your body respond. Maybe it's a feeling that comes up. And if it's a big thing, it could even be that your breathing changes. And definitely all kinds of thoughts are forming. And that is that moment when we don't have the awareness that that exists. How can we change things? How can we compete with the programming that exists? And we have that pull towards, yeah, I like to call it expansion because it includes everything, right? Things that inspire you, that resonate with you, that where you have a calling for, and then you don't do it. So I think it's clear by now that I'm not talking about controlling your thoughts, and it's not about forcing yourself to be positive. It is all about being aware what's happening inside of you. Because when you become aware of the old programs, of what's pulling you, and let me just tell you what this actually is. Your mind, your body to a degree, your nervous system, uh, they want to keep you safe. And when they feel you venture or adventure into areas that it doesn't know, it doesn't mean bad. It just pulls you back to safe terrain. It pulls you back into the known, into the familiar, because there's data that we have, and we can be sure, we can be more sure, even if that what it pulls you back into is not the best, but it's still better than the unknown. So this is the awareness we talk about within your own consciousness. And when we now learn how to work with this, we create something that changes everything. We create room for choice. And that room for choice gives us the possibility to expand and to grow in areas that we choose or not. That's entirely how we want to do it. So this is the entry point of the adventure into consciousness, is presence and being in the present moment and understanding what happens in the inner world. because most people try to change their lives, but they haven't even learned how to be present with themselves. So if you don't understand your own mechanics, how you work, what is holding you back, for example, what the old programming is about, and that's holding you back to develop into the version that you want to be, how overcoming something like that, I can understand why we then think we need to use force and willpower and hard work and huge amount of self-discipline. And then still it's a question whether that is yielding what we want. Because the moment we use that force, our mind has its own way. It can become such a rebel. It's kind of digging in its heels, and he says, no ways. You're not going there. And you see, here's the thing. This is the, Arno would say, the secret. And this is it. The mind won't prove before you adventure that where you go is safe. And that's impossible. You cannot have the proof before you had the experience. Do you understand that? It's a losing battle if you give in to the mind, because it will always pull you back to say, no, we're not going to go there. I want proof first. I want to understand the value of what you do and things like that. And you can't do that. As an example, for argument's sake, if you feel very uneasy speaking in a group, but you want to overcome this because you have value to add and you have a voice and it's time now, and you want to be heard and you want to be seen in the right light by the other people around, right? And now you're forcing yourself. You get sweaty palms, the heart is racing, all these symptoms that you have, and now you're forcing it, and you might get a panic attack because the mind will work not with you, it will work against you. And that's the catch. We cannot give proof to the mind that it is okay to speak in a group of many people when we haven't rehearsed that before. And the mind can convince itself that indeed it is safe. Yeah, so this is what Adventure into Consciousness is all about. So what we do, and what we're starting here, if you want to participate, the trick is, or the how it works, is that we gently, very gently train our mind and our nervous system to allow us to look at that point where that pull-push situation sits. I want to go forward. I want to expand. No, you don't. We don't know whether it's safe. First of all, we need to train to be aware that that happens. And then we need to expose ourselves to those moments in a safe environment as often as possible. And obviously, we do this inside in our mind first. We don't have to go out and really speak, to stay with that example, with a group of strangers and fall our own teeth and make a fool of ourselves because our mind is pulling us back. We can rehearse this in our mind until our nervous system and all these neural pathways have been created so that this moment become easier and easier and easier. So if in the whole module you are guided step by step with very practical techniques and exercises that you can do, but the main aspect, that's probably true for all of neurosync, is the audio sessions, because they're kind of deep immersive self-programming sessions. And in the matter of adventure into consciousness, they invite you in the most gentlest way to come to that point of where everything in you says, "Oh, no, I don't know, but I want to. No, I can't, but I want to." And the more you are exposed to it, like any skill, the easier it becomes. And then you start naturally to explore, first in your mind and then in your own private life. You start with little changes that are not changing the world, maybe, and then you might surprise yourself. Ah, this worked, and look, I've done that. Yay, hooray! And so you grow into that skill of expressing yourself and exploring more consciousness in the way you want without being pulled back by your mind. And then, of course, you can imagine what that means. Then the world really becomes your oyster, because then there is nothing that you can't explore. Whether you do or whether you don't is then a matter of evaluation. Does this suit me? Or don't I do this now? Or do I do it next week? Do I go full steam ahead? Or, I mean, that's those choices you can now make, but you never had those choices in the first place. You have to get the awareness that this is actually possible. Right. So, as we always do, we have a little session. And I hope I explained this in a way um, that you follow me, because obviously I live in this story, and it's so obvious for me, and I can see it in people. I can even hear it when people talk about other people. I mean, somebody says, I'm so open to explore this kind of ideas, and somebody else is completely closed off to even consider thinking about something. Well, why would they? Because something in them holds them back to explore it. We lose that ability that we have when we were little. Everything. We were curious about everything. And and then our fingers got burned, so to speak, or our mind got burned, and we rather move in the safe environment, which then can feel for some people almost like a prison. And we wonder why we can't step out of this and unfold. I see this almost like a lotus flower, unfold into all the glory and the beauty that we want to unfold into it. Yeah, so what we can do in this little session is to kind of install a usable internal mechanism that you, number one, if you're so inclined to do, become more and more aware of these moments. And in those moments, kind of explore what is actually happening. And when you receive this today, now, and you're willing and you want this, then it's going to be a lot easier to do this again and again and again. And it's like a checkerboard kind of thing. You start with minute, and if you stay with it, you will see how incredibly that can mushroom out. And the benefits of doing that, if you need any help with imagine what can happen, is when you first of all understand that we live in a world of unlimited possibilities. Number one, that the world really is an oyster. That we don't have to be so reactive to everything that happens about, because we find that calm in a spot, that calm space, that that peaceful place and things happen. And before we react, before our inner programs drive us to respond in a certain way, we have this buffer zone. That's a good word. We have this buffer zone where we say, I wonder what this means for me right now at this moment in my life. There's this Zen poem, I guess, that I put at the end of the manual of you might know that one, of the farmer that had a horse. And one day the horse ran away. It wasn't there anymore. And the neighbors came and they said, "Oh, this is bad. You have no more horse. Now you can't plow your fields. This is bad." And the farmer, he was a Zen kind of person, he said, "Good, bad, who knows?" And a couple of days later, that horse came back, and it brought a whole lot of wild horses with it. And the neighbors came and said, "Oh, wow, this is amazing. Now you got all these horses, and it's so much easier for you to plow your fields." But our Zen farmer, wise as he is, he said, "Good, bad, who knows?" And then his son decided to take one of these wild horses and, I don't know the proper term, tame it in order to pull the plow. And in the process of training this horse, there was an accident and he fell and he broke his leg. And the neighbors came and they said, "Oh, this is terrible. This is so bad. Look at your son, how hurt he is." And what did our Zen master say? He said, "Good, bad, who knows?" And then there was a war that broke out, and the government came and collected all the young men to come to the army to fight. And they couldn't take the farmer's son because he had a broken leg. Yeah, is it good? Is it bad? Or do we know in that moment? And that's actually, I think this poem is as known as it is. It's such a beautiful example that whatever happens has more than one perspective. And we often only look at something from the one perspective of our history, and we look through those lenses and we react rather than to sit with us in this buffer zone. And is it good? Is it bad? Or can I not decide yet? Do I need more information? And how would I like to respond to this? I mean, that creates so much calmness. Your nervous system can unwind. You make better decisions, obviously, and you have a lot more clarity because there's no more being tossed by emotions, like these ups and downs. And then don't forget that this all takes a toll on the body. You can't have mental and emotional activity, especially when it's a little ongoing, not leaving any traces in the body, which can be anything from interrupted sleep or aches and pains or digestive problems or whatever. So creating this awareness in our consciousness offers this beautiful still point, this buffer zone that we can become calm and centered, which also leaves us more compassionate and more kind, clearer thinking, better decision making for us and for other people as well. Yeah, so this is what I have to say to this before we go into the session. Arno, is there anything that isn't clear that I should maybe explain a little bit more before we do our short little journey?
Claudia, I think you explained it beautifully. I love it. Thank you. There's nothing I can think of that, that I want to add. It was gorgeous. And I love that story about the horse. Yeah. Yeah, no, all good. I've posted a little video clip, on the misconceptions of hypnosis on all the groups. So everybody got that. So we don't need to worry about covering misconceptions for the practical felt experience. Yeah, so it's all good. You can go for it.
Good. Right. So it won't be long. Um, and yeah, I think I can only see one or two people, and when I said right in the beginning, please make yourself comfortable, they haven't stopped being comfortable, and that's perfect. So if you haven't, or you can do, listen to your body that it says, maybe I want to lean back, um, or whatever you can do to bring more comfort to the body, then please do so. And again, closing your eyes is always a good idea. And now that all these words that I've said maybe resonate with you, maybe you're still swirling around somewhere, also become aware of your environment, everything that's going on. Could be sounds or activities, even the temperature that you can notice. And then let that all be, because you have decided to be here. You have collected all the aspects of who you are to be here with you. So just relax into this moment. And maybe take a nice deep breath. And since your audios are all off, I've checked, you can take a really deep one and just sigh it out and just feel how good that feels for the body to just let go. And maybe assist your body by doing a little body scan to relax a bit more. When we do close our eyes and we can become aware of that gentle touch of the upper eyelid and the lower eyelid, and how comfy the eyeball is underneath that. And those relaxed eyes can actually teach all the muscles around the eyes, even down into the cheeks, to follow, to also relax. In fact, all the facial muscles could become limp and loose. And that might mean that your jaw is maybe dropping a little bit so that the tongue can lie loosely in the mouth. And just imagine spreading that comforting relaxation over your scalp, down your neck, and over your shoulders. And maybe you like that little visualization that all that you carry on your shoulders, let it just slide off. Let it just go. If you want to pick it up later, you're more than welcome. But for these few minutes now, just let it go. And notice what happens with your shoulders when you do. How they want to drop a little bit more. And that might mean that your arms start feeling a bit heavier. And maybe now you become aware how your arms are resting, perhaps in your lap. And perhaps with another really nice deep breath in, you can follow that breath deep inside your body. And breathe in relaxation so that also the organs inside can have benefit from that. Down, down, down to the legs, the knees, the calves, shins, right into your feet. Notice how your feet feel. Maybe in your shoes or in your socks, or touching the surface they're on. Maybe they're very grounded. That's right. So now, that moment that you connected to earlier on, where you wanted to do something or say something or start something and you didn't because you were held back inside. Just connect to that again. Or maybe it's something different that you choose now. One of those moments that maybe you know them very well because they have occurred many times. And you might even be maybe a little frustrated about that. So just connect to that one more time. And really allow this time for the story that comes with it to become clearer and clearer. And you can do that by simply relaxing into it. And this time you're not going alone. This time, as you drop into that moment, you're bringing your own observer with you. So while you're experiencing this, you're observing it at the same time. And because this all happens in your mind, you have another advantage. You can slow this down until it becomes so slow motion that you can go frame by frame, perhaps even, to find that moment when you felt that pull back. There was maybe excitement before and an eagerness and a soul wanting to do this, like a resonance, and wow, boom, here it is, and there's that pullback. But now you have an observer with you. So notice what happens inside of you. Notice the thoughts that arise and the feelings that come with them and the pull. And when you get there, as best as you can, just pause that moment. Just put it on pause. Stay there. Pause that. And we're not going to change anything or wish for it to be different. You're just going to go and explore. So you could ask yourself very gently, those thoughts, those feelings that kind of don't let you go forward. Is this actually the truth? Is this your truth? Is this necessary? Is it helpful? Did you maybe inherit this from somebody? So just explore this. And you will be probably amazed that when you do that, how things start softening straight away. It's almost as if it's liking the attention it gets. And there is no right and no wrong. And what you decide to do with it is entirely up to you. But you only have a choice when you know what's going on. So look at that. What kind of belief system drives this? Is that still valid? Maybe it was relevant at some stage, maybe very relevant. Is it still relevant? Does it make sense with this event that you're visiting? Is this helpful? Does it help you to move forward? So see, now you have a choice. And maybe today is not the day, and maybe you have to do this little exercise a few times before you can really go into the details of it, and that's okay too. But when you start exploring what the drive, the engine behind this is, then that can soften and you can make certain decisions. And only now are you free to do what you think is best for you in this moment. You can do nothing. You can take a small step forward. You can go all the way, or you can let yourself being pulled back. None of this is wrong or right, but the point is that you never had a choice before. Up until this moment, where your awareness of your own consciousness is so magnifying these moments of awareness that are so pivotal. So if you feel that you get this and you want to take this moment of self-programming with you, if you know when I say the word anchor and you know what that means, you could touch those fingers, or you could put your hand on your heart if you want. Then that whenever you have this touch, whenever you want to be more present and slower in these moments, so that you have these choices, you know that this is a skill like any other skill that can become easier and easier and so natural over time. So if you want to add that richness to your life, that really powerful sense of sovereignty over your life, and you want to do this more often with more and more clarity, then now would be the moment to do this touch. And maybe even seal it in with a nice, deep breath, so you can allow this to settle and integrate within your consciousness. And just imagine, just for a moment, in the privacy of your mind, how that would translate in real life, when that comes with so much ease and clarity. So, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. That very first step into the adventure of consciousness is done. And if you feel drawn to explore more of it, then we got the tools. So it is about not learning something new. That is the good news, maybe. It is becoming aware of what already is, what is already happening inside of you. That is the message, and that is the foundation. Any inner shift that you want to achieve has to start with the awareness of the present moment and how you work, what happens inside of you at any given moment. So if this speaks to you, come back for more. So thank you for listening. And I hope you're all beautifully wide awake, bushy-tailed, because I'm going to hand over to Brigitte now. And Brigitte is going to give you the cheerleading tour very quickly, of how you can take this further. and how the neurosync platform actually works. And I say thank you and hand over to you, Brigitte.
Right. Thank you, Claudia. My power went out, so I have no access to my laptop at the moment. So I'm going to ask you if we can really do this together and you share your screen and I walk people through it and you be my hands. Would that be okay?
Absolutely. How is that?
There we go. That's brilliant. That's
Okay.
absolutely brilliant.
So thank you for
Cool.
everybody's patience. Isn't she
Thank you.
beautiful? Ha!
Oh,
Okay.
guys, man, Claudia, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been really an exciting journey to really bring NeuroSync to life and to share it and take this quick walkthrough with you, just to show the people the abundance of resources that we have on the site is a really exciting journey. So, as we've arrived here on the home page, on our landing page, you'll see that there is so much, or get a sense of what NeuroSync is really about. And it's about supporting your journey into deeper self awareness and personal transformation. And Claudia, if you can just make a ring around the main menu right at the top over there, you know, the normal standard menu where the home, that's it, just like that, just ringing around there. Guys, at the top here, this is our main navigation menu. And these little titles are your gateway into everything that NeuroSync has to offer. And if we start scrolling down on the home page, you will come to this really exciting section over here where we have these two free resources available to you. The one is the pink purpley one on the left hand side there, well, left to me, is the gateway into consciousness, and the blue one on the other side is arriving into presence. These are two free modules that are available for you to go and have a look at and get a feel and an introduction into what NeuroSync actually has to offer and how the course or the modules unfold and everything that we are presenting in them. And it's also a nice little foundation work for you to work with on all of the other modules as well. And as an added bonus, if you go down to the bottom over there, you can see that we've added in a featured module. And this we are going to constantly change from time to time. And these will be limited discount offers for particular modules that we feel would be quite relevant, that we would like to share with you, that we would like to create more exposure for, or perhaps we just think might be a little bit of interest to the world. So come back time and time again to see what discounts or what is limited or limit on limited time offer for you. So yeah, that's the homepage. And if we continue our journey, Claudia, if you can just go to the modules page for us over there. On the modules page, guys, this is what I find very exciting because there is a large variety of many modules available to you to choose from. And we have kind of looked at all aspects of life and seen where we can really add value and take that deeper look into that inner transformation for you. Each module has really been carefully designed to gently guide you step by step through a combination of audios and easy to work with workbooks. And even some of them have a daily journal that can help support your journey as you work through the modules. Yeah, so when you do click on a module, so Claudia, I don't know if you want to click on a module, anyone,
Should
perhaps
I?
adventure.
Okay.
Mm?
Can I click anywhere, ne?
Yeah, you can click yeah, either the image or where it
Mm-hmm.
says read more.
Mm-hmm.
And then this will take you into the module itself. And this will allow you to preview all of the content that is in the module, explore the structure of it, and get a real good feel for what the journey actually is involved, what is involved in the journey. And this will allow you to decide whether you want to enroll or whether not. However, we do know that there are an abundance of modules currently. So if they all excite you, or if you are not sure which one you're really drawn to, or what one really speaks to you most, or more than one speaks to you, and you can't make that decision or what you want to start with first, don't worry, we have you covered. We thought about this as well. So Claudia, if you can go to the Start Here page. Right. What we've done for everybody is we've taken our modules and we've put them into these easy to follow or easy to work with categories that are on the left-hand side. They're highlighted in yellow. And in the middle column over there, we have a little bit of a state of what we thought that category would create for you. And if you read through those states and find a resonance with that, then you simply just click on the button. Claudia, if you can click on any one of them, that will take you directly down to the category itself. And inside each category are the relevant modules for that particular category, which makes the selection process a little easier. And when you choose whichever module you want to begin with first, you simply again click on it and it will take you through to the course or the module content. Claudia, if you can select any one of them and just go through there just to show them how it works.
Here we are.
There we go. There we go. And it takes you, so here we're on feeling good. So once you add this to your cart, then it's easily added. And when you go to view cart, you can then see what is actually in the cart itself. And if you haven't registered yet already, then this is a beautiful opportunity because once you click check out and complete the purchase process, then you will automatically be registered for an account on Neurosync. And that's a beautiful opportunity because once you're registered for your account, it allows you to track your progress and access your content and immerse yourself into that Neurosync experience, allowing you to come back again and again, selecting new courses and making this a home away from home, if you like. Right. So guys, once you are logged into the system, your dashboard becomes your private personal space where all of your modules and your progress is stored for you. And this is the main course or the main pages I wanted to really point out for everybody. This is our landscape or our neurosync experience. And we've designed the platform to be easy to navigate, supportive, and almost intuitive, just like all of the modules are inside of it, so that you can focus on what really matters, and that's your inner journey. And if you have any comments or any queries, or if you'd like to just tell us how amazing you found the experience, then please feel free to go to the Contact Us page. And Claudia, if you can just pop in there quickly. There we go. You'll see that there you can email any one of us. There's email addresses for each of us, and there's also a little space over there for you to add your comment or to put in your details. Send it to us, and we would be happy to reply to you as soon as we get it, and we've dealt with whatever is on that query. So guys, that is our simple walkthrough into the Neurosync experience. I hope it's been clear enough for you. I'm excited to hear what you have to say, and I really hope that it is well received because it has been almost like another adopted child for I think all of us. So thank you for the opportunity, Claudia, to have allowed me to help you birth this, and I really am excited for where we go from here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Brigitte.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, you can only make decisions about things you know, ne?
Mm,
And that was what the
yeah.
whole evening was about. If you don't know what's holding you back, you can't change it. If you don't know what goodies you have here, and I think those who know us, and there's quite a few of you who do know our team, then the depth in which these modules go. They're kind of retreats. Some of them are super deep. You could be busy with them, and not with the module, but what it does with you for quite some time. I think once you through all of them, you come to the very same point as our students. There's nothing left to do. Yeah. All right.
Then we all almost like, oh no, perfect, right?
Yeah. We striving for that. Good.
We're
So
striving.
yeah, we're doing good with time. Everything perfect. Thank you very much, Arno. Maybe you have the famous last words.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Brigitte. That looks gorgeous. And thank you for all the effort with the neurosync site. Looks absolutely stunning. And obviously we're going to keep refining and adding, and just keep an eye on it, because there's going to be new modules all the time, special offers, opportunity, maybe in some free content coming up. So yeah, stick around, get your registration in as soon as possible, so you're in the loop. And yes, we're looking forward to seeing you on the platform. And then in terms of our free online events, we are already planning the next one. So stick around on the WhatsApp groups, and we will post more information shortly. And yeah, if you have any questions or any comments or any feedback, I love the feedback. We get so much feedback on the WhatsApp side of things after these events. Our groups are set up so that people can't post on the groups, and it's just because with some of the groups being larger groups, a few hundred people on them, it's not ideal if people start posting, because before you know it, nobody can follow a conversation. So only admins can post on those WhatsApp groups, but you are absolutely welcome to send me a direct message. And if you have a message for Brigitte or for Claudia, I'll absolutely forward that message. And then, we're looking forward to seeing you further along on the journey, and, striving to make those changes, those beautiful, beneficial changes, and making a difference in this world and making a difference in your life. Right.